changed into something more night courty with all my blue. Welcome! Today we are talking about the second book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J Maas, which is A Court of Mist and Fury, and it's really good. This is a non-spoilery section. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was much better than the first one, which is saying a lot because I love the first one, which I probably don't anymore. Like, if I tried to read it, I'd probably just be in a rage all the time for reasons that are spoilery. It deals with a lot of sensitive issues, emotional abuse, trigger warnings. If you are going to read it, just be aware of that. It's all handled very delicately. Sarah, once again, her writing flows like the Amazon River, which I don't know if that flows so smoothly, but her writing is very smooth. Be prepared for a lot of feelings being torn apart and a lot of confliction. It's great. Go read it. Come back here when you do and finish the video. Woo! That's how I feel about this book. Tamlin can suck eggs. Holy crap. Look at all my tabs. Whoops. A Court of Mist and Fury here. Yeah. Whoa! It's really heavy. Spring Court freaking sucks. Tamlin sucks. New characters. I love most of them. I hate Ianthe with a passion. Ianthe, however it's said. With a passion, she is awful. Pharaoh was like, oh, the red rose petals, they give me like bad flashbacks, PTSD type flashbacks, and she's like, okay. Puts them out at a wedding. The Night Court Squad. I love them so much. Taylor Swift had kind of ruined the term squad for a group of friends for me. But Sarah calling them the Night Court Squad and then me reading the book with that in mind, I just love the term again. So thank you, Sarah. More want to be friends with her. She's just so sweet. I love that the first we hear of her is just her laughing at Reese when she's like, oh, that went well. She's like, your mate thinks you're a dickhead. Really genuinely had thought she had died for a second, and then we found out it was the Golden Queen. I thought the Golden Queen being like impaled on the bridge in the Breach of Valaris battle, because they have the same hair. Her and Az, oh my god. It's gonna be a thing. I'm genuinely terrified one of them's gonna die. Some part of the squad has to die because this is a Sarah J Maas book. She killed one of my favorite people in the second Throne of Glass book. Azriel, is it Azriel or Azriel? I feel like they wouldn't call him Az, so it's probably Azriel. There's such a soft spot in my soul for Az. He's just, he loves Mor so much. And he's like, when he's carrying Feyre across the wall, comforting her, he's such a sweetie. I like him and his shadows that whisper to him and they're like, those are shadow noises. Cassian, love me some Cassian. Really scared he's gonna die because he's the puppy. I'm sure he's everyone else's fave babe. Not like necessarily the favorite character, but just like everyone probably adores him. I'm really sad about his wings. Hopefully they'll be able to heal those. Just really good at those bants. I love that he loves Nestor. Ship that so fucking hard. I really like thought he was going to mate with Nestor, but my cousin pointed out that it would be too good for all three sisters to mate. It would be nice, I would have no complaints. And then we have Amryn. I love her. I keep forgetting that she has like this short black bob. Makes me think of Catherine Zeta-Jones in Chicago, or that lady from that movie. I'll put a picture of her here. She seems really cute, even though she's like terrifying and all of the Fae are just so scared of her. After she and Feyre get back from the summer court, Feyre helps her up and she's like squeezing her hand. I love friendships so much, you guys. They're all really great. Love me, the squad. Can I be in the squad, please? The wards on Valaris, when Rhys was talking about them, how he keeps it hidden by people like approaching it, and then they'll be like, oh, I don't want to go there anymore. I was like, it's Hogwarts. Valaris is Hogwarts. The last like 50 pages of this book was so intense, but I think my favorite intense part was actually the Weaver's Cottage. It was so eerie, and I don't know, like it sort of reminded me of Delta Request, just in terms of atmosphere, I guess. Like they were like at this random cottage. It was very fairy tale, but when Feyre's describing it and it's like what she's weaving with is like human hair, and then the roof is like human hair, and the chimney is coated with fat, which is presumably body fat from the witch burning people alive. Gross. That was just such a great read, that scene. Rhys, why did you leave her there for so long? Like, I get that you want her to be strong. She is strong. We know she's strong. But like, geez, boy, you could have lost your mate. I love how the squad were just like angry at him for that. But she got his ring and she's like, worthy. When she's heading to the Weaver's Cottage, she's like, I'm not a mouse, I am a wolf. Is that a reference to Tamlin? Or is that just a saying that she's just using there because it makes sense? There's a lot of wolf imagery. I don't know where that comes from, if it has anything to do with Tamlin or not. Odds are, next book, she'll do something with wolf powers and he'll be like, oh, it's because you love me. He would. He's disgusting. The water wolves, that was so cool. That would just look so amazing on the big screen. I could just like see everything. It was like, you know, in the Avengers, when the aliens are in the city and there's that just like one like sweeping shot where it like ends with Hawkeye like shooting at Loki and Loki's like, haha, boom. I feel like that sort of shot would be really, really great for that scene. I don't really want these to be movies because I just feel like the hype that comes with movies, everyone would just wreck it and make it annoying, but it would just look so good. Oh, when they were getting the first book, I knew that like something bad was gonna happen. It was like very Indiana Jonesy when the temple like locked them in. That was fun. Bone Carver. That was interesting. I thought it was going to be a longer and more intense scene than it was. It wasn't disappointing though. It was interesting, and when they're like telling the truths and Feyre's like, I wanted to die. Rhys is like, oh no. Oh. So Rhys saw Durian. Feyre saw this little boy with dark hair. I'm pretty sure she saw baby Reasoned, and that's cute. When they show up in Highburn in the castle made of bone. Sarah thinks up some really disturbing things. This plan is going so smoothly, and I'm like, how do you guys not realize this is a trap? This cauldron is so accessible. There's no locks on the doors or anything. What are you guys doing? Durian walks in and he's an asshole. They're taken up to the throne room and his throne is made of bones. Why can't he have a throne made of swords like in Game of Thrones? That would just be so much more palatable. Their minds are being controlled or something. She just can't do things. Suddenly Tamlin's there and he's working with this disgusting king person. Lucian's like, this is awkward. What has he done to you? Blah, 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 blah. He's like, she is mine. And it's like, you're a possessive dick. She is not your property. She literally told him to go away. Oh, I hate him. Tamlin wanted to do that trade for Feyre. Oh, King of Highburn, here's Prithian on a platter. Just give me the girl. That's gross. What are you gonna do? Like, you have Feyre, what are you gonna do when everything else is destroyed and you just have, I mean, like, sure, she's like great and everything, but what, are you gonna die? And then the sisters are brought in and you're like, no, 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 no. They are turned into fae with the powers of this cauldron. The 4 remaining queens are there and they're gross. The black and white queens feel like they could be easily swayed to see the light. But the old queen and the young queen, they can go die in a hole. I don't care. I hope that they go into the cauldron and they're not as strong as they think they are, so they die. Feyre was like, break the bond. He breaks the bond, and for a second you're like, which bond is he breaking? And like, it's insinuated that it's the mating love bond. It's so painful. The next day he's like, can't break that bond. I'm so happy. And now Feyre's a spy and she's like, I'll help you any way I can. And in her head she's like, help you suffer and just crash and burn. Fuck you. Tamlin is a douche canoe. Coming to terms with the fact that Tamlin's actually a horrible, gross person. I was really sad about it for a while, and then I kind of realized that I don't remember what made me love Tamlin in the first place. Yep. Tamlin's so condescending to Feyre and Lucian and the people of his court, which is disgusting, quite frankly. These people are what make you a high lord. I mean, obviously his powers and stuff too. He would have no court if these people weren't there. When Tamlin was like, there's no such thing as a high lady, she was like, excuse me? That was the moment I was like, Feyre is my new favorite. I really liked when Feyre gave those water wraiths her jewelry. Came in handy later, which, let's be real, that was obviously gonna happen. Tamlin locked Feyre in the house with that shield thing. I was so angry. When he exploded, when she was like, I feel trapped. That was disgusting. I was like, well, there's no coming back from that. If there is, I don't really want to read it. I love Rhys now, who I hated him before. He is a soft puppy dog. Oh my god. This book is so fluffy, guys. I'm gonna cry. I love Rhys so much. I can't believe I used to hate him. When we hear his thoughts in the second last chapter, his thoughts are so soft. He loves her so much. Everything bad that he did is very well explained, and the major juxtaposition between Tamlin and Rhys and the way they treat Feyre. Tamlin condescended to her all the time and locked her up, whereas Rhys listened to her, treated her as an equal when she snapped at him, sort of thing. Obviously, because he definitely sees her as an equal. Rhys and Befriend. Now that Feyre and Rhys are mated and married and together, but not together. Now that they are a thing, seems pretty permanent. I really like that Sarah fully just shut down the Feyre-Tamlin relationship before moving on to Feyre and Rhys. Hi, Lord and Lady of the Night Court. I think that was great because we were all fearing a love triangle. Thank you, Sarah. I'm really glad it wasn't just Feyre running off to be with the bad boy. Like, she escaped and they had a friendship first. I can't believe this is a high fantasy novel, yet Sarah managed to find a way for them to sext each other. Whew, those scenes, I don't know if I've ever read or watched a love story as beautiful as this one. When Feyre glows and it's because Rhys is making her happy. It's just so many Stardust feels. Rhys's nightmare when the house was full of his dark night mist shadows. That was heartbreaking. I love him. He shouldn't have to go through those things. I'm glad Feyre was there to help him out of it. Feyre and Rhys had that fight. I think it was after they went to the Court of Nightmares. Rhys didn't talk to her for 3 days. But then all was forgiven. And Starfall, pretty. And when she was like, and we slow danced for the rest of the night. That is the goal. Slow dance with a significant other, just cuddling. Guys, I'm such a sap. When he said to her that she's his salvation, that was nice. When Reese is like, I don't deserve you. And she's like, we deserve each other. Oh man, okay, I'm gonna stop gushing over them. It's so beautiful. Which is like, eat up. And the bond is just props, major props to Sarah. When Feyre found out that Reese knew she was his mate, stalked off and like ran away, I was really annoyed because that's like book one Feyre shit. She's just being really childish, and I felt like she had grown a lot in between the start of this and the start of this, and she wasn't that dumb anymore. But we stand corrected. I mean, it was probably like 6 pages later that she was like, I understand why he didn't tell me. So that's good. That's fair, I guess. And then she basically accepted that she loved him back, and she turned into Rapunzel, painting literally everything. Reese's story explaining why he did everything he did, what happened under the mountain with Amarantha. It was as painful as it was beautiful, and when he was getting the visions of her in his dreams and then tried to push back just that feeling of the night sky and the night court and everything, and then she painted the night sky on her drawer. That was so beautiful. My heart stopped. I was like, they were mated before they even met. And then he was like, I'm just gonna protect her. I'm gonna scare her away. And then she's like, you really love me? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, then eat. She likes him because he treats her as his equal. I was reading this really nice passage when Feyre is just really realizing that she loves Reese, and this was playing while I was reading it. It's from Love Actually. When she's like, I suppose I'll have to give you children. He's like, you are not expected anything. That's beautiful. Children make me uncomfortable. When Reason was like, too much love can be a poison, that was just like, it's just an amazing line. Like, it's very true. Like, you can love someone, but it's not always going to be in the right way, and just because you love them a lot doesn't mean you're good at it. I love how they all just really want to be friends with Tarquin. That is so sweet. So, let's talk about Lucian. On the fence about Lucian at the moment. Lush, my tiny son. But I feel like Feyre will bring him around. She will, like, just give him a good kick up the ass and say, stop being a freaking coward. Tamlin is the worst. If you want to be with my sister, you're going to have to step up your act and stop calling my husband a whore. Or anyone a whore. I really just don't think Feyre would stand for that at all. Because she is a feminist and a high lady. I just want Feyre to smack some sense into him, especially now that he's mated with Elaine. I just really want him to call Reason a whore one more time, and Elaine can be like, don't say that. I really like Elaine. I thought she wasn't gonna make it through the cauldron for a second, and then when she did, I was like, phew. And then I thought Nesta wasn't going to make it through the cauldron. I just felt like one of them weren't, but no, like, it makes sense. They lived through poverty for a really long time. They're strong females, they're strong as hell. Sarah in this book has tackled a lot of sensitive issues, such as toxic relationships, abusive relationships, PTSD, in a very delicate way. This is a hard subject to talk about without sounding like I'm an insensitive douchebag, so I will stop talking about it. Just props to everyone who's been through something like that. You've made it out, and if you haven't made it out, you can still do that. I believe in you. Sending you very good vibes. So the start of the third book is going to be really painful. just because she's gonna be back in the spring court and it's not gonna be nice, and Tamlin's gonna be walking around like a pompous douche canoe. My hopes for the next book are basically just that Lucian will come to his senses. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please like it. Subscribe if you'd like to see not necessarily more videos like this, but just more book-based videos. Yeah, please go ahead and do that. All of my social media info is below. I will link to Sarah's amazing book and the first one on Goodreads. Get Goodreads if you don't have it. Add me, the things in the... Thank you for watching. Bye! I mean, like, if you've made it this far through the video, I assume you have read these already. So, what's the point of me linking them on Goodreads?